But in the last few years, a more sceptical mindset is emerging. In the global recession, upscale consumers suffered wealth losses just like everyone else, obviously to a very different degree depending on where you were on Maslow. But there is more to this, I think, than economics. From the Chinese government's anti-extravagance campaign to the American public's revulsion at the antics of the Wolf of Wall Street, there seems to be in many parts of the world a cultural rejection of old luxury. The Chinese engine of growth is spluttering. It grew 19% a couple of years ago, only 4% last year. Shares of Mulberry plunged last month because of Korea, in part South Korea, where the luxury market only grew 1%. The conglomerate Kering posted its weakest quarterly sales growth in a few years amid softness in Europe as well as China. All's clearly not happy in the garden of luxury, and some people are even going as far as to ask, is luxury dead? Well, my view is that the concept of luxury is too alluring to be banished altogether. It fulfills a fundamental human need, or desire, if you like. It may not be as healthy as it was, but I don't think it's dead. I think, in fact, it's just sitting up and asking for another cup of sweet tea. But it's important to understand that the sector is not booming as much as before, not just because consumers can't afford to dip into it as much as they used to, but also because attitudes have shifted dramatically, and not every company has yet adjusted to this. Corporate misdeeds and perceived excess have cast the new rich as the new villains, and their lifestyles are no longer a confessable aspirational fantasy. Consumers still want more, but conspicuous consumption's out of fashion. The logo-driven excess of the past decade or so being looked on with distaste. People still want fun, of course, and to mark their progress, but many of them also want more meaning, more connection, and more substance. And so, luxury is showing us a gentler, a more discreet face. Quality's become a watchword again. Authenticity's in demand. Uniqueness of experience is key. And in this way, I think that a rehabilitation process has begun. Brands who understand this are still making great progress. Kering's smaller labels like Bottega and Saint Laurent both are performing really well, for example, in the last quarter. So let's look at how this is playing out in a couple of geographies. Louis Vuitton in China, which banked on its monogrammed, logo-laden bags, announced a significant drop last year, whereas Hermès, much more understated in terms of its branding, was continuing to grow handsomely by about 20%. As a result of these trends, I think companies in China even have started to tone down their branding in favour of a more subtle approach. Louis Vuitton, for example, is promoting its logo-light Alma bag above most of its other products. Chanel are now posting video content about the craftsmanship of their products, allowing Chinese consumers an insight into French culture. Getting the tone right clearly pays dividends. And in the world of beverage alcohol where I work, cognac and baijiu, which are 60% plus of those categories, are consumed at corporate-style formal dining tables. Those have slowed down more significantly than whiskey, which at the premium end has got a more reflective tone. Johnnie Walker Blue Label, for example, grew nearly 80% in China in the second half of last year. Similar picture can be seen in North America, where Kering have cut the number of entry products that they have by 25%, and their proportion of sales from no-logo products became 62% of their portfolio in the fourth quarter.